Hey folks, another quick video from Daddy Rabbit. When you're growing up, most parents will tell you don't drink and drive, don't do drugs, don't steal, don't do this, and this. Young people say, it's no big deal. Well, as the title of the video is, Drug Offender Registry. I know a lot of people smoke dope, a lot of people do a lot of things. If you get arrested for, I think it's more than a half an ounce, let's say marijuana, I believe you can be put on the drug offender registry. That's on there for the rest of your life. It doesn't come off. Young people say that's no big deal, but it is. If you go get a job, you try to go to school, you try to get in the military, it's on there. Even after your conviction is done, your probation time is done, that will stay on there. They don't have to take it off. What I understand, even if you get an expungement, that still is there. People say, why does that matter? Well, let's say I'm an employer, and at one time you like to smoke weed, and you finally grow up and you decide you want to make a good living. If your name's on that list, you can forget it. Because people, all they're going to see is at some point you were a drug user. And people don't want drug users working for them. Young people don't think about these things. And even some older people don't think about it. You know, if you sit at home, drink a beer, three fingers of Jack or a glass of wine, or you burn a joint or whatever, you better not be getting arrested because there will be a record of it, and that record will follow you for your entire life. People don't seem to understand that. I mean, I've known people get 10, 15 DUIs. Well, at some point, that gets very expensive. You can get them fixed. You can. You can pay an attorney that'll pay a judge, it'll pay the DA, and it'll all, anything can be paid for. Ask OJ. Bottom line is this: you catch a drug charge the right way, and you go before the wrong judge, you're going to make the list. And then let's say you're in college, you get out of school, you think you're going to get a good job. Nope. These are things you need to think about. And if you're older, these are things you need to tell your kids. Because some things, even if you can fix it, pay the man. If you make that list, your name don't come off. It's like being a pervert. You make sex offender registry, you can make a lot of stuff go away. That's one that don't. And I was thinking about this because I know somebody that is on the drug registry or drug offender registry list. Um, Either let's say you've been to prison. You might went to prison, anything over 11 months, 29 days, you can go to prison for. Well, if you pled guilty or no contest or whatever, that's on your record for life. And everybody's got something, and it's no big deal for the most part. But there are some things that you could get arrested for that is a big deal, that will follow you for your whole life. Every state has I don't know what it's called, but you can get on and check, see if somebody's been in the penitentiary. And that'll follow you. Uh, I was raised in a time where I was always told people that get arrested, they do their time, and then they go on about their life. Well, that's not true. It should be that way, but it's not true. You get arrested, anybody can accuse you of anything. And when I had my security business, Lord, people will lie. They don't care. You see people get in trouble for something they didn't even do. And that happens more times than not because somebody's a liar or whatever. But that will follow those people the rest of their life. I don't have kids. I don't have a dog in the fight. It really, but I listen to a lot of young people talk. I think you have no idea. If you make that list or, uh, you get a DUI or I can remember when a DUI was no big deal. Really. No big deal at all. Uh, it'd be the same as getting an open container ticket or something. Just no big deal. People didn't care. Then you got organizations like Mothers Against Drunk Driving and all that. And then people started caring. Um, you got kids, you need to hammer that home. Because once you make a list like that, anybody can see it. Anybody. Prospective employers, like say if you go to join the military, the more technology there is, harder it is to hide your mistakes. You know, I I guess my whole life there's been computers, but not like we know them today. Uh, but kids coming up today, they're screwed. You do anything wrong, and you make a list, a state list, a federal list, you can be on the rest of your life, and ain't no get away from it. You could have had a bright future. You're just gonna make, 100 and a half, 200 a year. Now you're gonna make $10 or $12 an hour at McDonald's. People need to be telling their kids and their grandkids, and I know kids don't listen. I mean, I didn't listen either, but we didn't have this when I was a kid. And if I didn't know somebody that was on a list, I wouldn't even know about the list. That's a lot of people don't know. But if you're an employer or something, you know that stuff. So, I'm all the time telling people to get online, check sex offender registry, see who lives in your neighborhood, and so forth. Now you figure I think it was called the methamphetamine registry, and then they just changed it to drug registry. And like I said, I know a lot of people smoke weed. I think if you got more than I think if you got a half an ounce, you make that list. I don't know how much that is in reality. I don't smoke weed. Half ounce don't seem like a lot to me. But once you're on that list, you're there. So if everybody's got kids and all that, I'd you know, be having a long, hard discussion with them because that'd be horrible. Just piss away your future. And a lot of times, people don't realize this, but to get a plea bargain, a lot of times you have to give up your rights. So, like, let's say you got a young man, 16, 17, whatever, gets into trouble, and the DA will let it go, but he'll have to give up his Second Amendment, or he'll have to give up something, and that has nothing to do with justice. Nothing to do with justice. Most of the time, it's just like baseball players or football players. Attorneys have stats, and they want when they leave the DA's office to get a better paying job. So all they want is convictions. They want to look like they were really doing something. It's a dirty, dirty business, and that's all it is. It's a business. It has nothing to do with the scales of justice. 90% of the time, it's just has to do with money. Oh, my whole head's itching today. I don't know why. My head only itches when I do videos. But you know, the biggest thing is a criminal record will follow you. And you might be the nicest person. You might have made a horrible mistake. And I believe probably about 80 or 90% of the people get in trouble, they just made a mistake. And of course, then the DA and the attorneys, both sides will lie to you. There's no doubt. And a lot of people will take a plea deal thinking that's the best thing to do. And that's your life. I mean, that sucks. But for some people that are just screw ups, no matter what, I guess a plea deal is better than the penitentiary. But I just, after going through this registry, I typed in several people's names that I went to school with or I knew, or there's all kinds of people on that registry. And that's a shame. They say it's to help law enforcement keep better track. Well, I get it, but by the same token, after you serve your time, law enforcement don't need to keep an eye on you. That's none of their business, in my opinion. Now, if you're a pervert, then yeah, I can see it. I think now the sex offender page will list your car, your tag number, your home address, your work address. I think it does everything but maybe, yeah, I think even your picture's on there. So, I mean, you want to talk about everybody knowing what you did? Mm-hmm. But I'm not a sovereign citizen by any stretch of imagination, but I think once you do your time, you should be left alone. But I was thinking about it, and for all you that's got kids and young people or whatever, man, you need to be telling them. You know, they'll put you on. And see, this thing about probation. One thing probation is an opportunity for the city, the county, the state, or federal government to make money. It has nothing to do with justice. Has nothing to do with anything but money. And I've seen people get arrested, get put on probation, go back out, get arrested, put on probation, and they'll put them on probation 7, 8, 10 times. Well, they're just making money off of fines and stuff. And then finally, they put you on probation enough that when they decide they're going to revoke it, you go to the penitentiary for years. Uh, the young person I know that got into drugs, if they would have they'd have went to court the first time, didn't take probation, they probably would have served 30 days on a misdemeanor charge and paid $50, $100 fine. Well, they just kept letting it go, till they finally, well, they wouldn't go to court. Ended up with 2 years probation, $5,000 worth of fines, and had to give up their Fourth Amendment. Is that not stupid? So listen, folks. You're dealing with a corporation that is designed to make money. It has nothing to do with justice. Nothing. So if you got young ones or people that you love, really sit down and take the time to talk to them. Try to explain things to them. Because the older I get, the more I realize myself. And I'm a big, used to be like, oh, so and so screwed up, put them in jail. I don't necessarily think that is the answer to a lot of people's problems. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a snowflake by any stretch of the imagination. If you're doing something wrong, then they need to handle it. But like drugs and stuff like that, your first arrest on a drug offense should be mandatory 18-month rehab. And then if you relapse, then they can put you in jail for a couple of years. Because drug addiction, alcohol addiction is an addiction. It's a medical disease. And if they deem you an addict or an alcoholic, then you should be in rehab. Because people that try to quit by themselves, that is so virtually impossible. Virtually. So anyway, this is, I guess, a PSA, and just want to get on here and give you my 2 cents and tell you what I was thinking. Hope this helps somebody. If it doesn't, great. If it does, great. Anyway, folks, more videos coming soon, God willing, and the creek don't rise. That is my 2 cents. Please remember your glass is always half full and never half empty. Keep praying for me, and I'll keep praying for y'all. Love y'all. Have a great day. Bye.